Hello, everybody. WeeB'S here, and welcome back to the Otaku Overload episode 10. That's right, we have already been doing this for 10 weeks straight. We're already at episode 10. Time sure does fly, but I've enjoyed it. It's pretty fun. And as we get into it even farther, I look forward to it. So, it's good. With me, as always, is the legend Jonathan. Say hello, legend Jonathan.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back for episode 10. I'm super happy to be here. 10 episodes, that's crazy.
Yeah, as I'm saying, this feels crazy that it's already that far, right? Just like in a blink of an eye, we're already 10 episodes in. That's pretty nuts already. But yeah, we're excited. We got some stuff to talk about. At least I have some stuff to talk about. Maybe you, I don't know if that, maybe you have some announcements. We'll see in a moment. And there's some stories that are kind of interesting I wanted to discuss. And I really have a anime at the end of the podcast that I want to recommend that I think everybody should watch. So, hopefully it'll be a good episode. We'll see how it goes. With that being said, would you like to start with your week?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So, obviously, I mentioned last time that there was no new episode of Urusei because they were taking a break from it. It seems like over that break, they actually made a new opening for the anime. And I not only got to see the opening a day before it officially came out because it got leaked, but yeah, I watched that and then I watched the episode. First off, I'm just gonna mention the opening. I loved it. I loved the new song that I forgot how to pronounce the band. I think it's My Son D's or something like that. But they made the new opening. It was great. The song's really good. I even have it on Spotify. I have it. And then the opening's really good where it's basically like you can tell it has more nods to the original manga and the anime as well. Like it gives more references. It's cool too because it even shows a lot of characters that might show up in this upcoming season.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
cool.
I get what you mean. There's some because every anime opening might be different, but they fall into certain styles. I kind of get what you mean. The ones where it kind of gives you a preview of what's to come. Those are, it has references and stuff for anyone who's a fan. Those are always pretty fun. That sounds cool.
Yeah, so that's basically what it did. There's a part where obviously I'm not going to explain the whole opening either, but yeah, like I said, it gives more nods to the original manga and everything. Where there's a part where they're dancing, and at the beginning it shows a little sun in the corner, and it shows a landscape and everything. That's actually a reference to the first manga cover.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And then later in the episode, it shows these characters they're flying by on stars, and that's a reference to the original opening.
That's
and
cool.
It's cool because those characters that they show in that small part of the opening, those are the characters that are going to come out in this upcoming characters that are going to show up. So it's cool because I'm oh yeah, there's this character and this character, and then in this scene it shows these characters. So it's I was oh cool, that means that I know that they're definitely coming out. So that was pretty cool. I loved it.
Real quick, I was gonna say, I think it's fun when they do references like that. Off the top of my head, the last thing I can think of, there's some there's a lot that have done it, but just off the top of my head, the first two I can think of actually. I just thought of another one. The Mob Psycho 100, especially I think it was the first season. I don't remember which season it was. I know that one, once you've read the manga and you get farther into the series, I know that one, it was fun and it had a lot of little nods, you said, to stuff oh, that's from that story arc, or that's a reference to that episode, and that sort of stuff. That one was fun. And then I know another one that it only does it briefly, but I thought that was really cool too. The first season of JoJo, when it had the intro Phantom Blood, I thought it was really fun how it starts by showing the manga panels for all of the JoJo's from part 1 through 6. I thought that was really fun too. So it kind of gives you
cool. I saw that.
It's a little reference, a little nod towards the fans if you know anything about the series. I think it's fun when they do that. Like I said, it's cool when they do that because if you're a fan, it's little Easter eggs and little references here and there for you to be oh, I know what that's from, and I know what that's from. And if that's here, that means they probably are going to get as far as this character and that story arc and that sort of stuff. That's always pretty fun.
Yeah, because they even announced obviously they haven't announced all these characters that they showed their voice actors, but I know they mentioned 3 characters that show up in the opening. They mentioned their voice actresses and actors. So I'm okay, we definitely know that they're going to come out. So that was pretty cool that, like it foreshadows them and then it also shows that we know they're confirmed to come out. So yeah, that was the opening. I loved it. It was perfect. Other people said that they felt it was like too nostalgic, pandering and a bunch of stuff. Me, I thought it was fine. This episode, same thing. I'm gonna keep it kind of brief. Basically, the first half is that how in some cultures they have a kids' day.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. And I know in Japan they definitely do have like a children's day, right? That's true.
And then especially depending on the gender, they'll celebrate like that, like, yeah. So basically this episode was that basically since Lum lives with Ataru's family and it was like the girls' day, they were happy because they were taking pictures of her and they're like, oh yeah, this and that. Like we should have had a daughter instead. But then
Oh,
the
okay,
dad,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Since they don't have a daughter, it's like, oh, we finally get to like celebrate it because of her. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, I
hmm
got you.
And then they Ataru gets jealous because they're basically saying that they wish Ataru was a girl. And then
Jeez.
and then on purpose, Ataru's dad's like, well, if he was a girl, he would have been a very ugly girl. And I was like, damn.
Wow, damn, that's messed up.
Yeah. And so basically Ataru, he's mad. He gets outside the house and he looks in the mailbox and he sees this weird, like, tiger striped thing, like a ball. And he grabs it and he picks it out of the mailbox. And then this little kid, he's kind of like kind of being rude, kind of like saying like sticking his tongue out. And it's basically Lum's cousin Ten, like her baby cousin. And oh my lord, do I hate this kid.
Yeah,
Like he's so
didn't you tell
freaking
me that he comes out a lot? Like, he appears even earlier in like the original one, doesn't he?
He pops up in like the second episode, which makes it like the worst thing. And this annoying little bastard, he shows up and he's just being annoying. And then like the thing is like obviously now I kind of see why some people like him because of him being annoying and whatnot and being cute looking. But like I also kind of see why like people hate Ataru. Like I hate Ataru a lot, but I kind of see that Ataru's mostly the problem, which kind of makes Ten eat like the person that's annoying because it's like Ataru does something and then Ten responds negatively, and that's what makes it kind of annoying that it's like I'm dealing with two dumbasses on screen and I
Oh
just wish I
God.
could smack them both.
Oh
And
jeez.
it was just so annoying dealing with him. And then the first episode's just him being kind of there, Taro being jealous, Taro kind of hating him. Um, I think like that girl Ran, she shows up because it's like a party, and then Ten's like, "Oh, I know you. You're like my next door neighbor. You're friends of Lum, blah blah blah." And then on purpose, she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm some like girl you probably think that blah blah blah." And it's so dumb because everyone falls for it so easily because she's like I said about, oh, you think that it's like a different girl? It's because she says something dumb like, oh, you must be confusing me for a Rand that looks exactly like me. And I'm like, there's no way there's a clone of yourself, like a look-alike that has the exact same name. I'm like, there's no,
Wow. That's
I
so
was like,
dumb.
it's
Freaking
so
anime logic.
stupid.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, and it was dumb because even the old dude, he's like, that makes sense. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Stupid. That
Yeah,
makes sense. All retarded.
yeah. And I was like, no. And in the second half, because in the first half, unlike the manga and the anime, like the original one, Ten, he has a crush on that girl named Sakura, the like the granddaughter of that old dude. Basically, here it's shown that basically like in the first episode that he pops up in, he meets her and he kind of falls in love with her. And so the second half is that he wants to go out on a date with her. And basically Ataru tries to sabotage it. And it's so messed up where he's yeah, like you need to tell her to like go to like yeah, you go like out with her to a club, and then basically the cafe club they go to, it's like a very like sexual romantic one, and then obviously she knows that okay, like this is like obviously there's something suspicious because even the card that Ten mailed her had like dirty stuff in it.
Oh
So
my
she's like,
God.
okay, well, I'm gonna be the one leading the whole date. So they go to a normal cafe. Then later they go to a movie theater, but it was like a porno theater.
What the hell?
because that's what Ataru told him to tell her.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right.
but then it's funny because in the original anime and manga, you don't know what they're watching, and you can only hear like see and hear what they're saying. But it's funny because here on purpose they made it funny, where basically the movie's supposed to be a romantic movie, but it's so stupid. Where like basically like the part where the lady's like, "Oh, I'm wet," blah blah blah. It's that the guy is throwing water at her,
Oh God, what the
and
hell?
then she's shooting her with water, and then later you hear these weird like loud noises, and it's basically that apparently it's that there's these sea lions and they're like jumping and they're like dropping into the water.
Oh my God,
And
stupid.
she's saying that apparently it's so big, but it was the freaking sea lions.
Oh, that's stupid. That's funny though. I
It's
like
so
that.
stupid.
That's
And
funny gag though. To
yeah,
be like, yeah, that's funny.
yeah, and then it's dumb because they're watching it, and then Lum's like, "This movie's so interesting," blah blah blah, and she drags both Ataro and Lum out of the theater because she knows that they sabotaged the whole thing, and then that's when Lum's like, "Why? It was getting so interesting." She's like, "Those movies aren't for kids like you,"
Oh wow,
and I was like, "It's like the best movie I ever seen." It was funny.
that's so weird.
Yeah, it was such a weird
They're getting
episode.
all into it.
Yeah, and so basically, he since Ten's a little kid, he gets rejected and all that stuff. Um, Compared to the original anime and manga, in the original anime, I think he like almost wants to commit suicide or something like
Oh my
that.
God, jeez.
And then basically, in order to make him feel better and to convince, I think like Sakura, he invites some other like people to help out. And even though she doesn't like fall for it and she doesn't say yes, she still kind of tells him like, oh, like your heart will heal and everything. So like it's a good ending for the anime at least. In the
Hmm.
manga, it leaves off on a cliffhanger where I think either he said, I forgot this, that's why. Either he says that he's gonna kill himself, or he attacks the Taro because he's the one that sabotaged it, and then basically that's where it kind of leaves off.
Hmm. Okay. So here it
And
has
so
more of like a
yeah,
conclusion.
where yeah, here he just attacks like a Taro because he's like, oh, you're like a sabotager, blah blah blah, and then basically everyone just lets him attack Ataro because they know he's kind of at fault.
Yeah. But I'm saying besides more of a conclusion, more of like an actual ending and like
It shows
consequences
that.
versus the other one that you
Mhm.
said is just like a cliffhanger sort of thing. Just kind of move
Hmm.
on. Oh,
Here,
that's cool.
here, he really just like takes it like better, and then that's what he's like. Wait a minute, but like the guy who sabotaged it was Ataru, so like he took the rejection well. He just didn't take what Ataru did to him well.
Oh yeah, well, no
So that's
duh,
the
because
thing.
he knows he
Yeah,
realized that Otaru like, manipulated him and sabotaged him. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So that's the thing where it ends like that, and yeah, it was a pretty good episode.
I mean, it sounds like it has some
Ending.
fun stuff, especially the second part with all like the dumb stuff Otaru makes some like set up. That sounds
Yeah.
funny, honestly.
Oh, and then the last thing he was supposed to take her to was a hotel.
Oh
And it
my
was
god.
so dumb. It was so dumb because Ataru, instead of being like, wow, like I got caught, his dumbass, he's like, no, I told you were supposed to tell her that the hotel was last and blah, 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 blah. And that's when she hits him because she's like, you're not supposed to be telling a kid that.
Oh my god, so dumb.
Oh, but yeah, it was a pretty good episode and endings and everything. Next thing I did was I streamed more Kingdom Hearts because I remember how I've been playing on my PC.
Hmm.
So that's what I've been doing. Um, I left off at like a 100 acre wood, 100 acre wood. Um, the game has been crashing on me frequently, which sucks.
Oh, that really sucks, man.
Yeah, and there was even a part where in a 100 acre wood, like I think it got black the screen, and I was like freaking out because I had a soft reset it. It was super dumb. So that's what I've been doing. Um, After Kingdom Hearts, I will give a hint that I am gonna do for my next series is it's a sequel to an RPG I played last year. So that's a hint. And I
Are you
even
gonna
said
do
in
that
my
as a stream, or are you gonna do that as like you're gonna actually upload as an LP?
hmm that I do not know yet. I
Oh,
probably
okay.
will record it though.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
So I am gonna play that sequel. I did mention it in my latest stream. I was like, huh, maybe I should play it. So that's a hint that I'm gonna play that. And then other than that, I've just been playing Kingdom Hearts. I recommend you guys subscribe, to my channel. Um, I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so let's hit 100. Let's see. Other than streaming, I've played Animal Crossing, I went back to it. It was so crazy. I hadn't been playing it in like months. There was literally a villager that told me I hadn't talked to them in like 7 months. And then
Jeez.
another one said 6, and another one said like 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
I
I was
mean,
like, oh my.
so it's not that bad. If there's one said 3, that means the last time you probably played it was 3 months ago. And
Hmm.
so there's some villagers you probably miss talking to. So it hasn't
Hmm.
been that bad. But the fact that there's one that said 7 months is pretty funny because like even when you played 3 months ago, there's someone you just ignored for some reason.
Yeah, I like even screamed loud. I was like, 7 months.
Oh my
I
god, yeah, that's
freaked
pretty
out.
crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I'm returning back to playing on my Switch because I was playing on my PC and testing it out. I was reading the Urusei manga and all that stuff. So that's why I went back to my Switch. And so yeah, basically that's been my whole week that I just been playing. I watched Urusei, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts, and then I went back to my Switch.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So just checking stuff, just casual gaming and streaming and stuff here and there. Not bad, not
Hmm.
bad. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And that's it for your week then.
Yes.
All right, cool. Cool. As for me, last week I had said, because I completed what, like 4 or 5 anime, and I said I was gonna see if I could finish some more from like last season to like talk about this season.
Hmm.
Fortunately, didn't get to that. I didn't finish any. That's still kind of up in the air for now. Some from like last season. However, what I
Yeah.
did do is I checked out 3 new anime that like debuted for this season. I watched the first episode of each. And so the 3 anime that I want to talk about. Wait, real quick. Did I do any gaming? Yeah, I did some gaming, but nothing really worth talking about. So, it's just stuff I've talked
Mm.
about before and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, when it comes to the anime, the first one I want to talk about is that I checked out the first episode of an anime called Tomo-chan is a Girl, or in Japanese, it's Tomo-chan wa Onakano. Onanoko. Yeah, Tomo-chan wa
Yeah.
Onanoko.
Ona Noko. Yeah.
Onanoko, yeah. And basically, it is a anime that there's this girl. Her name is Tomo, and she is best friends with this guy named Jun. I think that's how you say his name, Jun. And they've been friends since they've been kids. Like there's a part where it shows them as like little kids, maybe like little like elementary schoolers. They've been friends. I think they live next door to each other or whatever. And basically, they are very good friends. Even I can look at the description, it even says they're the tightest bros you've ever seen. And because she's like a tomboy, they roughhouse and they spar and they like hit each other and they hang out and all this good stuff, right? And it's like, okay, cool. They have like a good friendship. They're always there for each other, whatever. The problem is that Tomo-chan, as it says, Tomo-chan is a girl and she has a crush on Jun, but Jun doesn't see her as a girl. Because he's always
Wow.
like known her as this like tomboy living next door. He's always thought of her as like one of the guys, and especially because of their
Yeah.
relationship, but they're always like fighting and like like they get into it. Like the first episode, like she actually like punches him, and I think he like hits her back and stuff. Like she can take it. Like she, oh, that's another thing. Her dad runs a karate dojo. And so
Yeah.
they both learned karate at the dojo. Like I said, they've known each other since they were kids. So for them to be like play fighting or like actually fighting and like roughhousing, it's not a big deal to them because they grew up with that. But the problem is,
Yeah.
like I said, since Tomo, she is a girl, she does have a crush on Jun. But the problem is that he sees her as one of the guys. And so she's like super embarrassed. It's all about how, she wants him to notice her, like think of her as a girl. But like
Notice
literally
me,
there's a
senpai.
part yeah, there's a part where like they're like walking to school and then he's like, "Oh, we're late," and he like gives her like a spank on the butt because like he's not thinking of her as a girl, he's thinking of her as any other guy. So he's like, "Come on, buddy, let's hurry it up." He like spanks her and she gets all embarrassed. But for him, it's like,
Yeah.
"What? Why are you mad?"
Yeah, because
And,
he's it's just like pushing basically. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't see her like at all, like as a girl. And like when he gets too close to her too, like he puts her in a headlock or he's like messing around with her. Same thing, she gets embarrassed because it's like, oh, like you're making like my like boobs are touching you and stuff, and she's kind of like getting all hot and bothered. And for him, he like
Yeah.
doesn't get it. He's like, I don't get it. Like, why is she mad? Like, we've always acted like this, and she's acting all like moody and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, it's just kind of funny seeing her deal with the stuff. Some of the comedy comes from the fact that they have this other friend. It's this girl with like black hair, It seems like she's also been friends with him since they were little, because they have a flashback where it shows that the guy Jun even says, oh, convenient that whenever we would like do stuff bad, you would always disappear, and it shows that like him and Tomo dug a hole and the girl was there, and when like an adult comes to like yell at them, she's gone. And so he's like, oh, what a coincidence that you would always like escape, when we were about to get in trouble. Her name is Misuzu, and Misuzu seems to like she knows that Tomo likes Jun, and it looks she's actually trying to help him out too, which is funny. And so like she even tells Jun like, oh, how would you feel if you couldn't hang out with Tomo because like she got a boyfriend and she was too busy hanging out with him or whatever. And it looks like it does bother him. So I think that's where some of the, that's probably where we're going to see the series progress. See if like Jun maybe does have some feelings for her back, or maybe we'll start to like see her in a different light or whatever. But so far, that's all they've really shown. That it's just about these two friends. They're always roughhousing, whatever. They've been friends forever. The guy doesn't see her as a girl though, so it bothers her. And it's about her wondering what she could do to get him to like notice her. And like I said, that girl Suzu, she's kind of like a supporting character. It looks like she might want to like help out here and there. Oh, there was another character. His name is Tatsumi. I guess he's supposed to be Jun's friend. I'm not really too sure what the relationship is there. He's introduces a few characters from around the school. It's so funny because Tatsumi, he doesn't know too much. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really sure what the deal is, because it seems like he doesn't know too much about Jun and Tomo. Like he just knows they hang out a lot. But it's funny because he tells them like, oh, you and Tomo are always like really together, huh? And then Jun's like, yeah, that's true, or whatever. Like, we're like really close or whatever. And he's like, oh, how close are you? Like, are you guys like physical or whatever? And like Jun doesn't get it. He's like, oh yeah, we're pretty physical. We've been really physical with each other since we were kids. He means like fighting like karate and stuff. And the dude's like, oh my god. And like the dude
weird.
Yeah, and Tatsumi, he actually like does see Tomo as a girl because he thinks she's kind of hot and stuff. And he's like, oh, like you're lucky you've asked her or whatever. And he's like, yeah. He says something about like something like Tomo sure has like a great body. Something like that. And Jun just takes it as like, oh, because she's like really strong and like I said, really like tomboyish and stuff. He's like, yeah, she's like, she really like lets me have it like with like those legs and feet or whatever.
Oh my god.
And then the dude thinks that like it's like some like sex thing. And this is just so funny. And that girl, Misuzu, she's the one who has to like clear it up with the guy, and he's like, so that's what's happening or whatever. He's like, really, they're not like together, and then like the girl's like, nah, and it looks like he's also kind of rooting for them, like he might kind of help out here and there. We're not really too sure yet, but it was just so funny when the guy's like, oh, are you guys like physical? Like, yeah, we were physical since we were kids.
We're so physical since we were kids. It's like, oh my god,
it was so funny, man. He's like, oh man, these two. But yeah, it was just funny. So it just looks like it's kind of funny. It's a comedy romance, and I don't know. We'll just see how it progresses about this poor girl. It's a tomboy, and she wants this guy to notice her, and we'll see what happens, But so far, it's been pretty fun. I've heard some good things about it because I know like it's one of those manga that people have talked about that they've had a lot of fun reading, and they've been waiting for it to become an anime. So we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I was just like, could you imagine? I love you. I love you too, bruh.
Oh, that does happen. Yeah. Did you see the preview? Is that why you mentioned it? Okay. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. It's really funny. It literally starts with her trying to confess to him. She's like, I love you. And he's like, I love you too, bro. Fist bump. It was so stupid. Oh, it was so stupid, but so funny. Speaking of, well, not necessarily funny. I don't really know how to describe this next one. Oh my God. This one's weird. I knew about the manga since before this anime came out. I heard people talking about how the manga is really weird, and so I've checked out some of the chapters of the manga. Not all of it, just like a few early chapters. Because it came out in let me check real quick. The manga started like in 2020, so I probably heard about it during lockdown. I think that's where like it was one of those things where it was just like on a Reddit board, people just talking about how weird it was. And basically, I watched the first episode of it. It is called My Life as Unaki-san's Dog.
Oh my
Japanese,
god.
it's Inu ni Natara Suki na Hito ni Hiro Wareta, which just,
oh my god, this anime.
Because Inu means dog. So it's just basically saying, my life as Inunaki-san's dog. And basically, it's weird because it starts where our protagonist, he opens his eyes, and it's raining, and he feels really weak. He feels really tired. And he sees that this girl whose name is Karen Inukai, she is like staring down at him, and he's not really sure what's happening. And he feels that she picks him up. She says she's taking him home, whatever. He's not really sure what's happening. He can't feel his body. He's like really confused. And then as he kind of starts to gain his senses back, he hears about how she's saying that she brought she has like a dog or something, and she's gonna wash the dog or whatever. He's kind of confused what's happening. And it's really short too. It's each episode's only gonna be 12 minutes. It's like it's gonna be one of those like really short, like little like etchy comedy series. But basically what ends up happening is that when he is in the bathroom with the girl and she starts undressing and she picks him up and then he looks in the mirror, he sees that he's a dog. He basically becomes almost, it's kind of like a little what was the breed?
Pomeranian.
Like a little Pomeranian, right? Or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know Pomeranian though.
Dude, I've seen the preview. It's crazy.
Because what would you call Ein from Cowboy Bebop? Would you call him a Pomeranian? Isn't he more like a...
Oh, no, he's like a... He's a corgi. He's a corgi. He's a corgi.
There we go. He looks more like a corgi. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. Yeah, he looks kind of like a little corgi. And he's like, oh my God, I'm a dog. And he's like really confused about why he's a dog. But he gets distracted because the girl starts like washing him and she's naked, all this stuff. And she's like in the bath with him. And he's like saying, I shouldn't look. And he's trying to like not be a perv.
He's like, oh boy, boobies.
No, but he's actually trying not to be a perv. Like, he's doing the opposite.
He's not, yeah.
Like, you think he would be like totally like, oh yeah, but no, he's actually trying to do the opposite. He's all embarrassed. He's not doesn't know what's happening. And basically it's he becomes her dog and it ends with him at the end that she's all happy and she says like, oh, like shake my hand, and he does. And he's like, because he wants to make her happy because when he was a human, he used to have a crush on her. Yeah. And basically, like I said, that's what happens in the first episode. But oh my God, I have read the first few chapters of this manga. It is so weird because the girl seems to be into her dog.
I remember seeing like the preview. I think it was like on like
there is a lot of fan service.
It was so weird.
There's a lot of fan service, a lot of panty shots, a lot of like stuff like that, a lot of weird innuendos, and like the girl seems to be into her dog, which is so weird. Like for instance, in the first episode, when she has him like in the bath or whatever, she's playing with him, which you'll show sure it's cute, whatever. But then like she starts like sucking on his nose. Like she like starts like grabbing his nose and she goes like, oh, what a cute puppy or whatever. She starts like sucking on his like nose, like nibbling on it, and it's like super weird. And then, like the mom calls her for dinner and that's when she's like, oh okay, she gets out. But oh my God, I've seen that later. Like there's weird like stuff where I don't know, she wants her to lick her feet, and she likes when he like hides under her skirt, and like
that's nasty.
It's so weird, man. Like it's so borderline like it's so like borderline like hentai. That's what it's like a comedy ecchi series.
Each.
It's so weird. And so I watched the first episode of it, and like the first episode's nasty. Honestly weird, but it's pretty tame compared to stuff that comes later. Because like I said, I have read a few of the chapters of the manga. Wow, does it get like super kinky? Dude, like I can't believe they made an anime of it. It's so crazy. But I mean, if you like fan service and stuff, if you like stuff that's super ecchi, there you go. I mean, I have a friend of mine that like I wouldn't be surprised if he's watching it. I'm picturing him right now. Me asking him, hey, what'd you ask? Oh boy, I've been watching My Life as Unagi-san's Dog. It's so hot.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about too. You know what I'm talking about.
You've told me about him. Yeah,
I don't know, man, but it's so weird because like that's the thing though too though. Okay, it's super weird. It's super kinky where it's like really weird how much it's not just her. There's other girls that are super into this dog. Like it's kind of creepy. But at the same time, I have to admit, the manga, I do want to read more of it. I want to see where it goes because it does have like a mystery element to it. Because you're like, why is he a dog? Will he turn back into a human? Because I don't want to like split too much, but you find out that it's not a reincarnation thing.
Damn.
So you would think it's like, oh, he died, he got reincarnated as your dog. It's not that.
It's like his soul just got down.
So you kind of want to read to know like where's the story going. So that's the thing though. It's really weird, really bizarre, really like borderline, like hentai and like porn stuff, but it has an interesting story. So like
that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if I should read the manga continue or if I should just watch the anime since the anime, like adapts it faster. Because I do want to know why he's a dog. I do want to get to that. Because like I said, I looked at this like a while ago, and now that it popped up again, I kind of want to like find out why he's a dog.
Yeah, I probably would too.
So I don't know, man. It's weird.
That's
like
weird.
It's like really, really like super like a crazy series. But I mean, I gotta admit, the author has put a mystery that does make you go, okay, why is this guy a dog? I kind of want to find out. I kind of want to keep reading,
Yeah.
even though I'm kind of feel really degenerate reading to this. Oh
Dude,
my
that's
God.
nasty.
Yeah, it's
Oh
crazy,
boy.
man. It's
Oh boy,
crazy.
dog boogers.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's just like sucking on the dog's nose and like, oh my God. She does some weird ass stuff with the dog. It's weird. Anyways, I watched the first episode of that. Like I said, it was 12 minutes. It's gonna be one of those that's gonna be like really short, so it's whatever. And then the last one I want to talk about, this one seems really fun. I actually like had a really good time with the first episode, and I'm really wondering where this is gonna go. It's a series called Buddy Daddies. Like that's like a weird title, weird Buddy Daddies. But anyway, basically, it's just like I said, just the first episode. It follows two guys that are both. I guess you can say I don't think they're yakuza. I think they're just like professional assassins or like killers or something.
Yeah.
But basically, there's two friends. One is Kazuki Kurusu, and he is the blonde one who's more outgoing, and he loves gambling. He loves, sleeping with women. He's very like energetic, talks a lot, that sort of thing. And then his friend is Ray Suwa, who he is the opposite. He has black hair. Does he have I forget, does he have a scar? Or was that just his hair? No, he doesn't have a scar. He has black hair. He has like a little bang that's always hanging. And this dude is like super serious, never talks, really introverted, doesn't even go out. When the show opens, it shows that literally the blonde guy, he's out, sleeping with some girl. He steals information for a mission. That he stops by a club, and he does all this stuff. And when he gets home, his roommate, the other guy, he's just apparently all New Year's he was just in there playing video games and smoking and drinking and like that sort of thing. And so they're like best friends, but they're very, very different in personality. One's really outgoing and one's really introverted. And basically, they are professional criminals and like assassins. And what happens is that they get a mission. What introduces them that it introduces they're like really good at what they do because it shows that they stop like a what do you call it when like a guy like has like he's driving a limo, let's say, like he has like guards also driving in their cars and stuff. What would you call that? Like a
escort?
Yeah, like an escort. There we go. They stop an escort. Okay. They stop an escort and they like steal the jewels from like this guy, and it's because they do contract work and that's what they got hired to do, and it shows that they're really good at what they do and they're really ruthless. Like they literally like kill a bunch of people. That is the part that is kind of weird because it looks like it's like supposed to be like a funny series, but it has like a lot of violence, which is kind of weird. But we'll get to that. Oh God. Anyway, and so they kill a bunch of people, but it shows that they're really ruthless. They're good at what they do. Then though, their next mission is that after the blonde guy steals information from that girl he slept with, their mission is that there's some guy on the top floor they need to eliminate. It's some sort of like a mob boss or something. I don't remember what he was, and they need to get to that top floor. But of course, it's going to be all guarded and whatever. There's going to be a lot of like guards. It's going to be heavily, security and stuff. So the blonde guy, since he's more outgoing and he knows kind of what he's doing, he has an idea that like, oh, if we make a cake, like a Christmas cake, and bring it up, through the elevator, they'll let us in because they'll just say it's from like the guy's wife or whatever. And so sure enough, he bakes like a huge ass cake. He dresses like Santa. The guy with the black hair, he's sitting under like the cart, and they get let through because they have like this guy at a bar that gives them the jobs, and he uses like a voice decoder to pretend that he's like the wife, and he's like, you dumbasses, I ordered the cake. I said to give it to my husband, take it up there. And so like the elevator guy lets them through. Anyway, all this saying that they're trying to do this mission, right? Because they're professional killers.
Mm-hmm.
As they're showing this, they also show that there's this little girl that she's alone on the subway. She gets off. She's wandering around the city with her little bunny backpack. And she also enters that fancy hotel. And as they are with the cake, taking it up the elevator, she sees the cake because this shit showed earlier when she was wandering around town. She saw like an ad for Christmas cake. And so she jumps into the elevator last minute.
Damn.
So we got the guy dressed as Santa with the cake. There's the guy under the cart, although we don't really know that at the moment yet. And there's this little girl that's just like, oh my God, the cake, it looks so tasty, blah, blah, blah. She's like, all happy. And so the blonde guy, dressed as Santa, he goes, oh, do you want to taste it? And she says, yeah. And she starts like eating a little bit of it. And he's all happy because he's like, oh, someone's actually getting to enjoy my baking, because of course they were just going to use it as like a prop, right? So he's all happy. And as soon as they get off on like the top floor, the guards get all mad and they start like trying to shoot at them. So that's when the guy that's under the cart, we find out he was there the whole time because he shoots the guys and he emerges. And basically, as the little girl's running around, because she says that she's there looking for her dad, oh yeah, because she says, Santa, did you bring me what I wanted? And the guy, blonde guy's like, oh, what is it you wanted? And oh, I came here to see my daddy. I was told by my mom that my daddy's here, and he's like kind of going along with it. As she's running around on the top floor looking for her dad and just doing all whatever, the guy in black, the guy with the black hair, he's just like shooting people and killing people left and right, and there's people running around, everyone all scared, and meanwhile the blonde guy's just trying to protect the little girl.
Yeah.
So it's super crazy, and then they do end up shooting the guy they're supposed to. They eliminate him, but then in order for the little girl to he had like held her hostage, in order to get the little girl to like jump out of his arms, the blonde guy rips off the Santa costume and he goes, I'm your dad. And the little girl gets all happy. She jumps into his arms and he's able to save her. And so basically they end up almost adopting this little girl because she was like in the wrong place at the right time and they don't know what else to do with her. And that's what the series is going to be about. It's going to be about these two assassins / contract killers who end up like basically adopting this little girl because what else are they supposed to do with her? You know what I mean? Because she just like wandered into their lives and stuff. And I don't know, it's just really crazy. It looks like it's going to be really fun. And looks like it's going to be kind of tragic too, because the blonde guy, there's a few times where when he's talking to the guy with the black hair, the guy with the black hair wanted to adopt a cat. And the guy, he told him, like, we can't do that because, what if we end up dead tomorrow? Who would take care of it? He's like, the job we're in, we can't like have attachments. And then he has like a flashback to like a lady that's pregnant. And she says like, the baby's excited to meet his daddy or whatever. And it's the blonde guy. And then we have another thing later when he's at the bar where he like gets the money, he takes some out and he gives it back to like the bartender. He's like, where to send this. So this is gonna be kind of tragic too, where I think he has like a wife and child, but he like ditched them because of the job he does or something.
Damn. So he walked out.
It looks like it's gonna be funny. It looks like it might have some like heart-breaking stuff too, like some drama. And I don't know, it just looks really interesting. Like the first episode has me really intrigued, basically.
It seems very interesting, actually. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, because they've done stuff like this before. It's not the first time they show about like, guy who's like a yakuza or like a criminal gets involved with a child and it warms his heart. That's not the first time they do that. And Spy Family did something similar about like, little makeshift family and stuff. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see where it goes because it'll be interesting to see how these two dudes deal with this little girl and having to take care of her when they're professional criminals and they're like hardcore criminals too. Like I told you, like they kill people like ruthlessly. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Yeah, that's why it's called Buddy Daddies. It's just two buddies just taking care of this little girl, I guess. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm really interested to see where it goes. First episode was good. We'll have to see how the rest of the series progresses. Something that people said did bother them, like I said, is that okay, they're taking care of this little girl. It's supposed to be heartwarming, but then they're really ruthless and they're killing people left and right. So it does kind of clash a little bit. We'll have to see how that goes, I guess, as it progresses. So
yeah.
Alrighty, that's it for my week. Like I said, that's basically the three that I watched. I'll try to see if as more we're barely starting the anime season. Hopefully, as it keeps going, I'll introduce some new ones if I get around to them. And I'm still hoping to finish some of the ones from last season so I can talk about those as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty, jumping over to the news. I have 3 news stories of various what would you call them? 3 news stories of various media, I guess, that I want to share. The first one, this one, it's so dumb, and I'll discuss it in a moment. But as this first title says, ATLUS teases several unannounced titles in the works. So basically, in about a week, as we're recording this, we know that Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are finally coming to all systems. I'm excited for that. So I'm not gonna say I'm not excited. I am excited. I do want to replay those. That's cool. The thing that pisses me off about this announcement, not that I'm not excited for new games, because oh man, if they made like a Persona 6, that'd be great. Or if they finally release that Persona 5 Arena, which would be like a fighting game with like all the characters aged up, that would be great, etc. What pisses me off is that for the New Year's 2023 greeting, they said, we're preparing several unannounced titles, look forward to them, blah, blah, blah. And what pisses me off, and what I'm pretty sure will piss a lot of fans off, why, if you have things that you want to announce, why didn't you talk about them during the 25th anniversary?
That's
Like the
what I
whole
was saying.
point,
The
yeah,
timing was wrong.
yeah, like the whole point is that for the 25th anniversary, people were looking forward to announcements. They were looking forward to what's going to be new. The only thing they talked about is like, oh, there's going to be a concert. Oh, there's going to be merch. Oh, there's supports coming to the systems. People kept looking forward to new announcements for new like titles, and that would have been the perfect time to talk about it. Why did they wait until the anniversary is over to talk about it now? That is like
I don't even
so
know. That's super dumb.
That would be like instead of like a Nintendo announcing like a big game during like instead of Nintendo being like during their next big direct, instead of saying like, oh, guess what, guys, here's a teaser for like Mario Odyssey 2. It's like if like the direct came and went, and then randomly like a week later, like 2 weeks later, they just put out like a
Like Mario
trailer
Odyssey too.
on like Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you like talk about it when it was the right time? So I don't know, man. Like I said, not that I'm not excited for more titles, because I'm really hoping, like I said, like something like Persona 6 would be great, or maybe some remasters of like the older games, or like a new fighting game would be cool, or all sorts of spin-offs would be fun too. I don't like I'm excited for like I guess anything that they announce as long as it's like like good. But it's like, why didn't they mention it during the anniversary when people were waiting for it? Like the whole anniversary came and went. They didn't really announce anything. Why didn't they talk about it then? That is just like such a missed opportunity. And it's like, why? Like, who's in charge of
Yeah, they could have done
marketing?
it better.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous, man. But like I said, I'm still excited. We'll have to see what new stuff they talk about. And like I said, near the beginning, I'm excited because Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are coming to all systems, in about like a week. So I'm excited. I already downloaded Persona 3 on my Xbox. I like preloaded it, and I'm excited to play that like pretty soon. So, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Moving on to our next news story. This news story has to do with the MCU, and basically, as the title of the article states, it says Krysten Ritter workout pics have Jessica Jones fans thinking MCU return. The reason they say that is because not only has she put like a picture of herself working out, but she is wearing a Daredevil shirt. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that seems like it's pretty it seems like it's like maybe like some sort of tease. It seems like very specific for her to put a picture of herself wearing a Daredevil shirt. She's gonna put on like anything. And yeah, I was gonna say I really enjoyed the Netflix shows when they came out. Like I think Daredevil was really good. Most of it, not all of it. I didn't like the second part of season 2, but I really liked the first season. I really liked the first part of season 2 where it showed Punisher, and I really liked the third season. So I liked most of Daredevil. I really enjoyed the first season of Jessica Jones, and I liked Luke Cage here and there, certain episodes.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't really care for was Iron Fist. Honestly, a lot of people didn't really seem to like it.
Me neither.
And Punisher, obviously, and Punisher. I really liked the first season. The second season, not too much. But regardless of what I'm trying to say is that, I really like all those Netflix MCU shows. I thought they were really good. And we know for sure already they've announced that Daredevil's coming back. So I was gonna say, if they bring back some of those other characters like Jessica Jones, I think that'd be really cool. I thought it was really cool seeing these like street level superheroes, and their stories are more grounded and they were a little more mature and stuff. So if they were to bring them into the MCU, I think that'd be really fun.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, and
especially because Daredevil, he showed up in like I think it was like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so the No Way Home. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, that if we already know he showed up, like we know that a lot of these other characters should show up too, like
he also showed up in She-Hulk.
I remember that too, yeah.
I liked his appearance in She-Hulk. It was kind of cool. He was like really like acrobatic in that, and he was just like, I don't know, I liked his character. It was fun. And that's what I'm saying, that I hope they bring these characters into the MCU. It'd be cool to see more of these like street level characters that all hang out and fight stuff like what's his name? Like oh my god, Kingpin and stuff. That'd be really cool. Or especially if they like make appearances with like Spider-Man. Now that people are hoping that we have a Spider-Man that's more street level instead of like Avengers level, like he's taking care of like more stuff around the city. It'd be kind of cool if he like teams up with like Daredevil or Jessica Jones here and there.
I have a feeling that he could.
Yeah, and maybe that's what we'll get. Maybe that's what they're planning, but we'll have to see. But like I said, the fact that Jessica Jones, or at least the actress, posted the picture with the Daredevil shirt, and that gives people faith. So I don't know. Well, it
Yeah.
looks like, I know, a lot of people are tired of the MCU, and I do understand why, but there is still certain stuff I'm excited for, and this is one of them. Like, if
Yeah.
they bring back Daredevil, Jessica Jones, that sort of stuff, yeah, I'd like to see what they do with
Hmm.
it. So And finally, the last news story I have, we had one about gaming, one about, pop culture, like movie source stuff, TV. The last one I have is about anime. And this is pretty cool because, as the title of the article states, exclusive LITE produces. So LITE is the name of the studio. It's supposed to be because of like Enlighten. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
But it says exclusive. LITE produces Afro-Anime film MFINDA or MFINDA, something like that, in Japan. So in case you're wondering what it is I'm trying to say, like what is an Afro-Anime, if you look at the news story and you look at like the art, basically it has these two little African girls, one dressed in like more modern clothing, she has like a little like bag, and the other one's dressed in like more traditional clothing. And at the top it has like a mask of like some sort of creature, and it shows that they're like in the jungle. And it's pretty cool because it says the story is that MFINDA tells the story of a young girl, Odie, who's transported into the past where she joins another young girl in a zombie. They must venture into the MFINDA and confront evil spirits to reclaim the 𝐤𝐨𝐬𝐿 if she has any hope of returning home. And then it has like this image of the two little girls. They're riding on this like, I guess you can call it almost like a weird like antelope or something that's really colorful. And it's like
That's what it looks like.
it's like some man dressed in a traditional garb with like cheetah skins and stuff. He's like, he has a spear and he's like walking ahead of them. And the designs look really good. And the reason I thought this was worth talking about is because, like, number one, we have been saying in past podcasts about like the whole minorities thing in anime that, African people, black people that haven't always been treated the best in anime. So the fact that they're doing this anime with black characters that actually look good, that's really cool. But not only that, the fact that they're making an anime that's also focusing on African characters and like African like stories and mythologies and stuff, that's really cool too. That's really different. And so that's what really caught my attention. That it says that LITE it says aims to bring Black and Indigenous stories in partnership with global creators. It says Afro-Anime or Afro-Anime is its hand-drawn 2D animation. So basically it's some studio that they dedicate themselves to trying to make anime that has to do with African culture. So I think it's pretty cool.
Pretty good.
And it looks like really fun. I mean, just based on the images we have, it looks pretty good. The story sounds interesting. So if it could be kind of like a Ghibli-esque film, but about like African myths and culture, that sounds like it would be really cool. I'm really curious to see like how this turns out because it sounds really cool.
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that like I said, black people and minorities haven't always been treated the best. So the fact that in the like later in like these last years, we've gotten like anime that really expands to other cultures and stuff, not just Japan focused. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this brings to my mind, for instance, that's what I really enjoyed about Megalobox, especially like the second season. I thought it was really cool how like the people they focus on, no one really looks like exactly Japanese. Like the main character, his name is Joe, and he looks like he could be like, Afro Latino, maybe. Like you're not really sure. Like he doesn't look Japanese really. And then they introduced a lot of people too. Like his rival's a Russian guy. In the second season, his mentor is like a Mexican guy. There's a lot of Mexican characters, that sort of thing. And like it's kind of cool seeing all these other races and stories from like other parts of like other countries, or maybe even if it's like made up countries, but as long as it's like different like ethnicities and stuff. And it's like I'm saying, the fact that they're doing this is really cool. And so that's what caught my attention. And like I said, I don't think it has a release date for when this is coming out. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it doesn't say a release date for when this might be coming out. It just says they're working on it. But that's something that I would definitely like keep an eye out for and see, when it comes out, because that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I actually use Megalobox for because I mentioned before the video where I talked about minorities in anime, how they were depicted.
Yeah.
I use Megalobox as a good depiction of what minorities look like in anime, like modern animes now.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what I did. I used Joe. I used his that's the thing. I forget the name of the dude who trained him, but I mentioned him.
Like Nanba or something?
I think it was like Namba, yeah.
Something like that, yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I mentioned the Latino dude. I
Chief.
mentioned Chief. Yeah, I mentioned him. And I was talking about
Nice.
how they look good. That you could tell they look like they're not like, oh my God, it's like they just have like a skin color, but they look Asian, or oh my God, they have a skin color, but they look like racist. I was like, they look like they're actually like drawn the way you would like see people from different cultures, but like in anime form. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that looks really good. And then it was funny though because they chose the wrong pictures for the characters.
Oh my god.
So
How'd you choose the
Chief,
wrong pictures?
I don't know, I just picked a random picture of Chief and I said he looked great. But then when I looked over the editing, he looked kind of like a rapist. So I was like, shit.
Oh jeez. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
Oh my God. I'm like, dude, I chose the wrong picture, but I was
Oh
like, whatever.
jeez. You got
I
like
think it was
weird
because,
pictures of like weird angles and stuff.
yeah, it was because it was a deadline. That's why.
Oh my god. You
Yeah.
suck. You suck. How did that even happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think there was bad pictures of them. How did you manage to find the bad ones? Jeez.
It was just right there on the front page.
God. Anyway. But yeah, that's it for that story. Oh my god. Oh god, you would. Alrighty, guys, but that brings us to the last segment of the podcast. That's it for the news. This news story, and this news story, this topic that I want to talk about this week, the anime I want to recommend, as I said now at the beginning, it's a really good one. It's one that I hope people really watch. And it's funny because as I was talking about, what do you call it? I'm forgetting right now. As I was talking about Buddy Daddies, that's what I was thinking. Sorry.
I
So
was
I
gonna
was,
say
I was talking
Daddy
about.
Buddies.
Is it Daddy? No, I think it's Buddy Daddies.
It's Buddy Daddies, but I was gonna say Daddy Buddies.
Oh, jeez. You know, it sounds like the Santa Buddies movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, as I was talking about that anime about like, criminals taking care of a kid, it reminded me of this. And you also reminded me of this because you mentioned Girls' Day.
Hmm.
And it's funny because this title of this anime, it actually means Girls' Day.
Oh wow, that's
So
crazy.
that's kind of what's funny. But anyway, the topic of the week, the anime that I want to recommend, like I said, because I was reminded as I was watching Buddy Daddies, I think that everybody should watch. I recommend the anime Hinamatsuri. And Hinamatsuri, as I kind of hinted at, Matsuri means festival, so Hina festival, and Hina festival is translated as the festival of dolls or like a girls' day festival. So that's kind of like I said, that's where when you were talking about earlier, that kind of made me think about that. And Hinamatsuri is this really when did it come out? Let me check real quick. It came out back in 2018, so it's a few years old, but it is this really funny, really like heartwarming at some spots anime about this guy that basically his name is Yoshifumi Mita and he is a Yakuza member. So that's why you kind of see where like the organized crime comes into it.
Okay, I
And
see.
basically Yoshifumi Mita, he's a Yakuza member, but if I remember correctly, he's not really a good Yakuza member. Like he's not very violent. He's not really too much into the lifestyle. He's just kind of like a low level Yakuza member. And his whole thing is that he works for the Yakuza because he likes expensive stuff. He likes having like a fancy house. He likes to collect vases, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
his life gets interrupted when one day this weird capsule shows up in his house. If I remember, I'm pretty sure it's his house. And out of it comes out a blue-haired girl. And
That's
she's a
scary.
young girl. And what he doesn't know is that she's from the future. I don't know why she got
Damn.
sent from the future. And her name is Hina. So that's where the Hina part comes in. It's kind of like a play on words and Hina Festival, all that stuff.
Hmm.
And she has like telekinetic powers. And so at first, he doesn't want to take care of her. He doesn't really want to have a daughter, anyone to take care of. He enjoys his single life, blah, blah, blah. But as it happens in anime, as he's trying to get rid of her, she uses his powers on him, I think, and she like scares him. And so he starts like trying to be nice to her. And then if I
Yeah.
remember after that, there's also like a job that the Yakuza boss gives him. And the girl ends up helping him out to like eliminate all the enemies. She uses her powers to like knock people out, throw them through windows, throw chairs at them, whatever. And so like the Yakuza boss thinks it was him. And so he becomes like the VIP, like number one in the gang or whatever.
Yeah.
And so basically he decides to have her hang around. That way he's kind of like, okay, if you help me out with missions and stuff, I guess I'll take care of you and I'll feed you and you can like stay at my house and watch TV and stuff. And so it's kind of cool how this relationship, which at first is kind of based on just, he's using her and she's using him or whatever. It is kind of nice that as it progresses, you do see that they do form more of a bond and they do kind of start to become more of a family. But it never gets, at least their story never gets like that emotional. It's mostly comedy. There's like a lot of funny moments with like a bunch of dumb stuff the girl does or misunderstandings or I don't know. You have to watch it. It's like really, really funny. Like, there's like a lot of parts that make me laugh out loud. And then what makes it interesting is that she's not the only girl from the future that got sent back. Because Hina is the blue-haired girl that lives with the guy. But there's also another girl named Anzu. She's the one who has a tragic backstory. That's where a lot of the heartbreaking stuff comes in. She also got sent back from the future. And she also has powers. But she ends up while Hina's living, in the lap of luxury in some fancy house, watching TV and all this stuff and going to school. Anzu ends up being homeless. Damn. And she lives in a homeless camp. So a lot of like the sad stuff comes from her story and seeing her dealing with like homelessness, which is really sad. So that's where like some of that like tragedy kind of stuff comes from. Yeah. There's another girl named Mao that for like the majority of the anime, she's stuck on a deserted island.
Oh, wow.
So you don't really see too much of her, which is really awkward. So those are the three girls that get sent back from the future. And then there's another girl that she doesn't have powers, but she befriends, Hina. She's like her classmate, and she works at a place where she sees Yoshifumi all the time. Her name's Hitomi. Oh my god, Hitomi's such a great character. They rope her into working at a bar. Wow. And she becomes a bartender. She works there like part-time or whatever. And the whole thing with her is that she becomes super rich because she makes a lot of money as a bartender. Like people love like the way she mixes cocktails and they think she's like super like oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. So they like give her a lot of good tips. And it's really funny because like before long she has like more money than she knows what to do with. And it's just like really funny when you see like her interactions and stuff. And oh my god, it's just like a really fun anime. Like, you really have to watch it because, like I said, it has funny stuff, it has heartbreaking stuff, it has cool stuff about being like the guy being a single parent, how he tries to like actually be like a father to Hina. It has a lot of funny stuff with like the Yakuza and how they like end up like fighting back against other gangs and stuff. There's funny stuff with Hitomi and like she's a bartender and like there's comedy there. Like, oh my god. And like whenever Anzu and Hina fight, there's like some really funny stuff too when they're using their powers. There's some really funny stuff when they're like fighting too. Like there's a thing where Hina just like beats the doesn't hit physically hit her, but she uses her powers against Anzu and she basically like telekinetic slaps her. And like, oh my, it's like a whole I remember those like memes about that for a while. Because when she hits her, she like turns her face like sideways and it looks all funny when you look at it. And like, oh my god. That's great. It's good. It's a little bit of everything. It has comedy, has drama, has heartbreaking stuff, has funny stuff, has a bit of action here and there, that sort of thing. And then Hina's like really dumb and lazy. So like that's funny. She kind of reminds me of Anya a little bit from like Spy Family.
Oh, that she's lazy and stuff.
Yeah, she's like really lazy. She's kind of like silly and like not so much silly. She's just kind of like airheaded.
Yeah.
And doesn't really show emotions and stuff. So oh yeah, but yeah, I really recommend Hinamatsuri. I think it's really good. The only thing I will say is that the only thing that sucks is they only got one season back in 2018, which is a while ago. And I know the manga kept going. So the only thing that kind of sucks is that once you finish watching the 12 episodes, you would have to continue the story with the manga, which some people aren't that fond of reading. They like to watch the anime instead. That's the one part that kind of sucks. But trust me, it's a really fun anime. I think you'll enjoy it. And then if you enjoy it, at least there's a manga to read after that. So,
Nice. I'll just say Anzu's gonna end up with that Mega Mind treatment. The fact that she ended up in
because she ended up with I got what you mean. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering where you can watch it on Crunchyroll or Funimation. That's where it's listed as playing. So man, like I said, it's just a shame it never got a second season. I hope it still does. Maybe they were just hoping for the manga to progress more. Maybe that's the only reason they didn't make more.
They could have done that, yeah.
But oh my god, I remember it being so funny when I was watching it. There's literally some episodes that would make me laugh out loud. It was just so good. Yeah, I'm
There's
checking. It lasted 10 years. The manga ended in 2020.
damn.
So
So
yeah,
this was
now that it's done, maybe they'll adapt more of it. That'd be fun. We'll see.
that's true. They could, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like not everything gets more, but then again, I feel like we're in an age where like things that surprise you get reboots or continuations. So if people ask
That's
for
true, and
it,
it's out of nowhere. It's out of nowhere too.
yeah. So I hope somebody brings it back. That'll be like really funny.
Hmm.
But there we go, guys. That is my recommendation for the week. Hinamatsuri, I say watch it, especially if you enjoy stuff like Spy Family, or if you watch like the Buddy Daddies, and you're kind of like, oh, I want something more like this, some more comedy about a criminal raising a kid or whatever. You know, you can watch that. It's already all out. So there you go. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. That is one more down. So
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you
let's
know, we
go.
recommended a few things. Hopefully that gave you guys some stuff to check out. As for me, for stuff that I'm hoping to next week, you know, within like the next week or whatever, like bring for next time. Like I said, I want to watch more new anime from this season. I want to finish some more from last season, and I don't remember exactly when um
When?
Persona comes out, but maybe when it
Yeah,
comes out, I might talk about that. We'll see what I do with that, or you know, maybe it'll show up on the channel. You know, just a little hint. We'll see how that goes. But for
yeah.
me, that's the stuff I'm looking forward to. More anime, Persona, stuff like that. Anything you're looking forward to? You know, that maybe you'll talk about next week. Any little hints?
Oh, next week. Let's see. What am I looking forward to? Damn, nothing much actually.
Nothing you can think of
I
at the
think
moment?
no. I think I would just do is since you said that Persona 3 and 4 are coming out next week, I think I might just put more time into playing 5 because I was
Mm,
definitely excited when it first came out.
yeah.
And I feel like I do need to like because a lot of people have recommended it to me that I definitely need to play through Persona 5. That's what I'm probably gonna be doing.
All right, there you go.
And
Yeah.
mention it next week and
All
play
right,
some of
cool.
Frontiers. I never beated it.
Oh, okay, there we go. Then yeah, we'll see if you report back having done some of that. Cool.
Hmm.
All right, though, for now, guys, this has been the end of episode 10. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you might be doing. Don't forget that if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also listen to it on like podcast sites, that sort of thing. And if you're listening to this on a podcast site, don't forget that Legend of Jonathan and I both have YouTube content you guys can check out. So there's that. And with
Hmm.
that being said, that's it for another week. We will try to be back next week if we can. This is us signing out. Later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.